Hi, Ashwini. Great to see you here.
I'm not able to see the
And-
chat. Yes.
Oh, you're not?
No, I'm not. Hey, Darshini.
Oh, yes, I just saw Darshini sent in her intro too. We're expecting Madhura ma'am to join in a few minutes as well. And then we can begin very soon. Hi, Medina. I see you have your hand raised. Do you have a question for us? We will be starting the webinar in another 2 to 3 minutes. Just waiting for a few more people to join us, and then we will begin. Hi, Payal. Nice to see you here. Hi, Kavya. It's been really quiet. Why is the audience so quiet? Let's hear from all of you. Tell me hi, your name, where you're from. Yes, Vrinda, we're going to start in another 2 minutes from now. Hi, Ritika. Hi, Akshanta. Yes, finally the chat is buzzing now. Okay, so Jacinta, do we begin?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Gurleen. Hi, Mansi. Hi, Pragati. Great to see all of you here. Yes, we shall begin. I'm just looking if Madhura ma'am is joined. Oh, she's messaging me saying she's going to join at 35. Okay, then we will begin.
It's got a minute more.
Yep. So very warm welcome to you, Jacinta. We've been talking for close to 5 minutes now. Nonsensical chatter. So I think now we begin formally. And I'm going to welcome you formally to Aspire for Her platform.
Thank you. Thank you so
And
much.
so before we begin with the session or any of our discussions with Jacinta, I'd like to give a very brief introduction to Aspire for Her, as well as to my captain, in partnership with whom we are conducting this session. So Aspire for Her is a not-for-profit organization that mainly aims to work towards providing career resources for girls, mainly in the age group of 18 to 25, but we have a lot of people who are raising their hands. Just give me a second. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the Q&A box or the chat box. We will make sure that they are clarified either in the course of the session or towards the end of the session. So yes, getting back to the Aspire for Her introduction. So yeah, we provide career resources of different kinds in the form of career previews, interactions with senior leaders and mentors like Jacinta. We have a lot of webinars we do, a lot of live sessions, a lot of job opportunities, a lot of learning resources, lots of amazing career resources that we provide you. And all of this completely free of cost. Our main aim is to help and see girls entering and persevering in the workforce without giving up. That's what we're working towards. And all of us here, the entire team at Aspire for Her, we're aiming to do just this. So we're really happy to have you here with us, Jacinta,
Thank you.
and to help us in this mission of helping girls become financially independent. And sorry, I've just been getting way too many messages in the chat and I'm trying to get through all of them. So yes, that's a brief introduction of Aspire for Her. And now I'd like to hand it over to Tithi from My Captain for a little bit of an introduction to what My Captain does.
Okay, thank you, Sneha. Hello, good evening, everyone. I am Tithi Jain from My Captain. And My Captain is an online edtech platform that strives to motivate students to pursue their passion. And many of you are been a part of My Captain. So today, My Captain brings you this exclusive power talk with Jacinta Jayachandran in collaboration with Aspire for Her. And Jacinta Jayachandran, she has a 26 years of experience working in diverse industries such as HR, entrepreneurship, and social impact. And she has previously worked at companies like HP and Infosys. She is the co-founder of Skills Cafe and Hope Works Foundation, as well as the author of Words Matter, a book that talk about the language girls need to speak. And she has also done incredible social work during COVID times and has been recognized for her support and hard work by St. John's Medical College and Hospital. So by not wasting much of all of your time, I would like to hand over to Miss Jacinta.
There's another very important thing you missed. She's also the recipient of the Women in Impact Award in 2020. So it's again something all of us should give a round of applause for.
Thank you. Sneha, so do I do my opening remarks now?
Yes, please, go ahead.
Okay, all right. So good evening, everyone. I love the fact that you have, 76 people are choosing to spend an evening listening to me. I can't consider it a greater honor. Believe me, you own that, It's just fascinating. The greatest resource we all have is time. And if somebody is willing to give you their time, you should be in a place to have earned it. So I hope I make this interaction useful and interesting for you. And I hope something in it will stay with you for a very, very long time, if not for the rest of your life. With that, I'm so grateful to be here and thank you very much for the opportunity. With my opening remarks, all I want to say is don't get carried away by all the English words, okay, about purpose and passion and everything. They're all very important. But you know what they are? They're like those lights on the street which guide you towards where you want to go. They are not the end in itself. So all of these are phenomenal, and I want you to look at it as they are guiding lights. They move you, they provide you direction. And people like us who just managed to live a little longer on this earth and cause it a lot of damage, is what I'm being told, may be able to share a bit of our experience in saying, how do you use these as your guiding lights and make your own life what you want to make it to be? With that, I will hand it over to Sneha. Take it away from here, Sneha.
Thank you, Jacinta. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
So as our topic states, crafting fulfilling careers, before we dive into any other topic today, I'd love to hear from you what exactly fulfillment is to you, or how can we define a state of being fulfilled?
Let me ask the audience here, since they're so alive and active on the chat group, what does fulfillment mean to you? What do you understand by the terminology called fulfillment? And I'm sure we'll find the answers here. Believe me, there are no right or wrong answers, dear friends. Doing something that makes difference in people's lives, satisfaction when I have accomplished something, making someone happy, satisfied and being happy. There you go. Feeling passionate about my career every day. Fulfillment is nothing but fulfilling your own desires, satisfaction to the soul. Wow, that's heavy. Something that can provide me contentment. Every day I should be able to rise. Absolutely. What a beautiful.
Beautiful.
It's absolutely phenomenal. Fulfillment is getting everything in life and being satisfied. Sure. Inner peace. Oh my goodness. Okay. When you find, I thought that's of the people in the 50s like me. Inner peace, when you find your purpose of existence and being and kind. Wow. Financial independence and opinion freedom. Fantastically well put. Carpe diem, indeed, Jayesh. I think it's a beautiful one. Okay. And not only achievements, but a sense of honor for self. I can't imagine defining it more beautifully than that. And I can see Madhura out there. So, a hi to you, Madhura. Okay. I'm just getting the audience to answer all the questions, which makes my life very easy. You know that?
No, I can see that, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful. I think I just came in at the right moment for my right dose of inspiration. Uh,
Absolutely.
and really wanted to welcome you, Jacinta. Thank you so much for doing this for us. And you know that I'm going to catch it a little later on recording, but I wanted to really welcome you. And I know Sneha and the entire community will be extremely benefited by what you have to share. I love Jacinta's book. I love her book, especially the first word in her book. Maybe that can be a quiz after this.
Yes, it's a good idea.
Yeah.
So
Thank
that's
you so much,
but
Madhura.
fantastic, fantastic. So thank you very much for being a part of the platform.
Thank you.
And you know, I'm just really looking forward to catching the whole webinar in a little bit.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much. Thank you. See you and bye bye. All the very best. I want everybody to enjoy themselves because this is a rare opportunity of catching an author and a motivational speaker all rolled into one. So we are very privileged to have you here, Jacinta.
Thank you, Madhura. Very kind of you. Thank you so much. Thank you. So here you go. You've got all your answers. I'm inspired, I'm useful, and I'm growing. Well, what else is fulfillment? You know, what is the perk of being a member of Aspire? Okay, that's not part of the fulfillment answer, but I will leave it to the Aspire for her team to answer that part of the question. So the idea of what is fulfillment, Sneha, really rests in all of these answers. You know, it is about finding what you are seeking. And I think to me that really is that piece where you exist in a space where you are comfortable, where you're happy being who you are. It doesn't matter how many plaques of success you have, how many medals you won. None of those things matter. What really matters is, are you feeling at peace and being comfortable in your own skin and being in that space? To me, that is fulfillment. You know, today afternoon I went to this place called the Unit of Hope in a hospital. It's a center meant for working with children with disabilities. And I saw this amazing poster on what work they do. And they said, you should know all the F words. I said, F words, my God. Okay. So imagine for a generation that didn't talk of these things. I said, in a hospital for children with disabilities, you're talking F words. And I was looking at that poster and I was absolutely inspired. It said children with disabilities, and no matter how young you are, you could be just born, by the way. The focus of them is to give them fitness, form, which is their body being able to function well, and give them friends. What else do children really need? Isn't that a fulfilling life for a child? You look at adults, I think it's equally
Absolutely.
fulfilling, right? And then they said a family and a future. I said, man, these guys have given me the topic for today. Find the F word in your life and look at that last F word. The last F word is fulfillment. Family, friends, a future to look forward to, fitness, because I think all of us need to be both mentally, physically, financially, intellectually, spiritually fit. Fitness is not just about being physically fit, but it's all of these things. And of course, a form and structure to this whole thing. A body that's functioning well is able to carry you forward. To me, that is fulfillment. And this hospital to which I visited today afternoon answered that question. If we have all of these things and we are not feeling overwhelmed by it, I think we are in a space of being fulfilled. I hope that answers your
That
question.
is beautiful. Yes. And I love that quote on the hospital wall. I mean, yes, finding your F word, that is what it is.
Find your F word, that's it.
That's really nice. So Before we jump into more topics that are focused on fulfilling careers and how exactly to go and look for a fulfilling career, like maybe passion or finding your purpose, can you just tell us what ikigai is? Because I've heard a lot of people telling me that find your ikigai because that's what helps you get to know what you really want and helps you get to that fulfillment. So what do you think is ikigai?
Okay, I'm no expert on Ikigai, though I've read a lot and I've tried to understand a lot of Ikigai and tried to imbibe it a little too. Ikigai really is the secret sauce, drawn from Japanese culture and their wisdom of how to live long and fulfilling lives. It's an amazing methodology, if I may call it so. I think it's a very deep philosophy of how to live lives that are compelling, fulfilling, not necessarily, I wish it would be long, but some of us, may not necessarily have it. But as long as you are there, is it fulfilling? That is the whole point, right? So Ikigai is definitely the model that we have drawn from the Japanese culture. But I would like to say, you go and sit down with your grandmother. And I know, Sneha, you have, your grandmother with you. Sit down and talk to her and ask her what's the sweet spot. Believe me, she has wisdom to share. Go and sit down maybe with just children. Last Sunday I went to this special needs home in which children from broken families or children who come from families which are exposed to criminality are being taken care of, and there were 64 kids. And when I was talking to one of the kids as we were heading out, she came and she quickly told me, "Tell me your name again." I said, "Okay, you can call me Jessie." I said, "Why?" She said, "Because I want to remember." And and I was very intrigued. I said, "Why do you want to remember my name?" And she looked at me and she said, "Because you made me play." You know what? The wisdom, or ikigai or any of these things is really finding that sweet spot where you are feeling good about yourself, and maybe the sweet spot is that you can also share it with somebody else. And ikigai is one of the models, and I think there's so much of ancient wisdom in Indian way of living. And I'm not even talking about religion, I'm just talking the Indian way of living, the way we take care of our families, the way the whole idea of atiti devo bhava. You pick up any of these things, all of it is, may not be defined as ikigai, but the sweet spot for being your complete whole self and feeling fulfilled. To me, that is ikigai. Of course, ikigai in its model talks about, a mission, a passion, a vocation, and all of these things are, absolutely essential. I don't deny those at all. And I think each of us will try and work around with this or find ways to make this work in our lives. And I believe that journey is unique to every individual. We have to draw the wisdom from every culture that we can. Ikigai is from Japan. We have lots of native answers. We also have lots of beautiful practices across cultures, across the globe. That's where I believe today's insistence in very many places about creating diverse but inclusive cultures will make us appreciate ikigai from Japan as much as we can appreciate our own, and also blend with what really is globally available as wisdom out there.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, I myself, I don't know too much about Ikigai, but I've done a little bit of reading because, of course, the book, and then a lot of everyone talks about Ikigai. So naturally, it caught my curiosity. But I think that's exactly what it is. Just being you, the state of being you, being happy and being fulfilled and being that in that state.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
So leading from my previous question, what do you say is purpose? Or how do we recognize that this is what is my purpose? And how is that purpose going to help me make my career choices or make the choices that I take as I go forward in my future?
So I believe I define purpose with just one sentence. It makes you grow, wake up without an alarm in the morning, without the fear induced jump out of the bed model. Your purpose says, hey, time to get out there and conquer the world with whatever it is that you want to accomplish. By the way, it's not necessary that all of us need to discover our purpose today, etc., etc. I don't think there is such great urgency. In fact, I turned 50 last year, and I've been working for 26 years, like you said. I wrote my purpose statement only last year in 2020. Believe me, the year of the pandemic, when all of us were locked up, was the year I discovered my purpose. Prior to that, I was doing many things, and I was definitely happy. It's not that I didn't, but for me, the idea that this is my purpose in life became more clearer. You know why? Because when everybody else was locking themselves up in their houses out of fear, I was raring to get out of my house. I was working with communities which I felt were running short of money, had no food, though gaj ki duri is an impossibility for them. There's no safe drinking water, and we are telling them to wash hands. Now, many of them who belong in this part of the world are not people to whom we interact on a day to day basis. And I didn't even wait for anybody to give me instructions. I just ran out there and I tried to do what I could. And then I realized my purpose is really to make a difference. And that's what I've put down even in my profile. Now, if somebody asks me, what's your purpose? I'll say it's to make a difference, maybe something very small. But on a day-to-day basis, before I go to bed, I'm saying, did I really make a difference to somebody? Now, that makes me truly feel fulfilled and happy. Some days it's a lot of people, a lot of things, but sometimes it's just me that I've made a difference to, that I've helped myself to just calm down, maybe understand myself better, whatever it could be. But defining purpose as the thing that gets you going when nobody else needs to nudge you, no fear needs to push you, and no burning ambition needs to sort of drive, but that feeling that I have found what I was looking for is what I believe is purpose, and I can give you multiple examples of people who found their purposes. And you know that when they do their work, it comes not just with competence, but it comes with joy. It comes with a certain courage, which you might say, wow, how is that even possible that you do that? I have a friend called Venkat who's in his, mid 60s or probably even older. And he runs this foundation called Swabhiman Trust. And believe me, when everybody said 60 and above is greatly vulnerable to COVID and don't come out, he's out there every day because he feeds the poor people. And he says, Jacinta, there's no way that anything's going to lock me up. I can't see a person hungry. Now that's his purpose. So, dear friends, don't go after and say, tonight by 12, I need to figure out my purpose in order to be happy. I think the whole idea of life is that you will figure it out at some point in time, right? Because the day you discover it, you're going to say, okay, now I think I know what I'm supposed to be doing, and I know I will do it well. You may not be the most qualified for it, you may not have a degree for it, but you're going to do it well. So it gives you both the will to wake up in the morning and belief that you have the skill or you will acquire it. There is just no other way to define purpose for me. This is the only way to do it. I had Captain Ramaswamy is somebody I love to talk about. He was a professor, of course, founder of IIM Bangalore. But every morning I would see him with a sugar packet going and feeding the anthills. And I was wondering, what does he do so early in the mornings? Because that time I was a student and I would be outside reading my chapters or getting ready for my exams, and I would see this old gentleman walking. And then one day when I caught up with him, he said, oh, who takes care of these ants? Look at them, they build their house and then the snakes come and take, so at least I can give them some food. So every morning in Bangalore at 7, 6:30, you will see the gentleman walking out there putting sugar. By the way, Korumangala that time was having more snake houses than regular human beings living there, okay, which is not the truth now. And he would do that. And I truly believed, his purpose must have been to make that small difference, even to an ant, right? That you drop sugar every morning. And I find it fascinating. I don't think anybody kept an alarm to wake him up and say, Ramaswamy sir, Professor Ramaswamy sir, please now go out and feed the ants. No, I think he just woke up by himself.
I love the analogy of just saying it's something that helps you wake up without the alarm clock. I mean, that's just the perfect definition, I would say. So yes, now I mean, we've spoken about purpose and passion, but we've always heard people asking us, what are you passionate about? So somebody might say, I'm so passionate about this, I'm so passionate about that. So if you ask me, for example, I would say I'm passionate about cooking, I'm passionate about writing. But the question is, are you able to hear me? Because I'm able to not really able to see you clearly. Are you able to hear me and see me clearly? Okay, awesome. Jacinta, are you still here with us? Looks like Jacinta is just having a little bit of an internet issue. Let's wait till she connects back. Yeah, I'm just gonna drop her a message and wait till she connects back. But by which time, do any of you want to share something that you really love from what she spoke to us about fulfillment or about finding your purpose? What do you think about these things? What are your thoughts? Or is this something that you also felt in a similar manner, or did you think it was something different? So I'd love to hear your views. Please put them in the chat box. Yes, you're back.
Yep, I am. And you were talking about passion, at which time electricity
Yes.
decided it didn't now. So it's okay.
No worries. I was just asking our audience to tell us what their views are on these answers because, I mean, we've been hearing a lot about passion and purpose from and fulfillment from everybody these days. So I want to know what their views were. Were they thinking of something along the same lines or was it something completely different? So that's what the chat is working with right now.
Oh, okay, okay, all right, nice. So, you know,
Oh, yes, I was asking
passion
you
to
a
me, just like
question. I hope, yes.
I just like I have a definition for purpose, I also have a definition for what's passion. Passion gives you this enormous energy, and by the way, you're never alone when you're with your passion. Let me give you a few quick examples. Your mother, I think she has the energy of I don't know what to be able to be doing webinar one day with women and speaking at another event, running. She, and her definition in her LinkedIn profile says, I am passionate about bringing about a difference in the lives of women and girls. Now, can you believe how beautifully she's articulated it? And I don't think she's ever tired of doing it. I don't think she's ever said no to actually a program or an initiative which is actually impacting women. Today, I look at my sister who's a professional doctor who's worked through COVID, etc. But she's a passionate green thumb. You leave her in her garden and she needs nobody else. She and her plants, the world is complete. Me and my cooking, my world is complete. I don't need anybody in the kitchen around me. I don't need anybody saying, I know that I'm in a space of my own when I'm cooking, and that's my passion. Now today afternoon when I went to this Hope Center, I met doctors who volunteer there and conduct free surgeries for children with disability, especially those who come from very poor families. And they spoke about why they volunteer. They could be out there earning more or all of those things, but they're saying the whole idea of learning medicine and becoming a doctor is that you really take care of people. And who needs care than the people, especially children? Because if these are children with disabilities, just imagine what the requirement for care is. And I saw the doctors sitting passionately discussing about how we need to train the parents, we need to train the family, the friends that surround these kids, how the children need consistent same set of therapists and doctors, because the children can't see too many new faces coming. And I could see The passion at work, they had the energy, they are able to multitask. And frankly, when they were walking around and explaining, it wasn't a professional job, but you could see that it was coming out of, who they were as people. And they were speaking with such love, such absolute joy with the work they were doing. And they were saying, Jacinta, right now we are struggling for funds, but you know what? We'll figure it out. What passion makes you do is figure it out. You're not going to say, oh my goodness, rain is coming, so I can't do my gardening. You're going to say, how many plants can I move? Keep it somewhere else. What can I do? So passion is something that I think you definitely will find the energy on your worst day to still be able to do it. And when you're doing what you're passionate about, frankly, I don't know if others understand you, but you're going to be able to see yourself very well. If somebody tells me Milind Soman at 51, 52 is running, I think he's doing something that he's truly passionate about, right? Imagine running and trekking. And I don't know, I just find every time I see an update, I'm like, wow, look at what it takes. And look at his mother, who started running at the age of 60. She's obviously passionate about it. The purpose could be fitness, it could be anything, but the route that you're taking is, pursuing what you're most passionate about, which is running, right? Some of us could hit the gym, some of us could do something else. So passion is what gives you energy. You do it no matter what, and you find ways and means to accommodate this passion in your life, in your day. Like one of my other passions is really reading a book. I can do anything to get my hands on a book. I can carve out time even in the loo. Sorry to use the word, but I don't mind it. But I need that space. I need that time, and that's what it really is about.
That's great. So this is giving me a very perfect segue into my next question, which is,
Sure.
I mean, most people keep saying, okay, I love doing this. So I could tell you that my hobby is, say, writing or reading. So these are my hobbies and I love doing them. So is that the same thing as saying I am passionate about doing it? Or is there a difference between, say, what I call my hobby and what I call my passion?
No, your hobby could be your passion too. Like, hobby is something that you take time out for and you carve it out and you keep it going for yourself, right? So your passion could be your hobby could be your passion. It could be one, and the same. It could also be different. For some people, hobby is maybe writing letters. I don't know. I was raised, and I spent a lot of time with my grandfather, and he would write letters to all his relatives. This is, we're talking the 70s and the 80s, when inland letter was equivalent of email and WhatsApp and Insta and everything else, right? So every day he would write 3 letters because he was passionate about keeping in touch. But I realized his purpose in life, I think, was to really do something which keeps him going. And he would do carpentry every day for about 3 hours. Now, whether somebody wanted something or did not want something is a completely different issue. But he would be pursuing it and he would be looking at it with great perfection and sitting and doing it. And I think all of this, in some ways, he was very passionate about because he carved time out of his day to be able to do all of these things. And in the end, I think it made him very happy. He felt very complete because he was doing all of these things. And late in the evenings, he would practice violin. It was a standing joke in our house that the only people or creatures who could listen to his violin, because it was so besura, were the snakes in Koromangala, because one day we found a snake in our house. And my brother said, now I know why this has come. The only audience that was willing to listen to my grandfather. But he had his day full, carpentry, letter writing, violin practice. And he couldn't be bothered whether his grandchildren laughed at him for doing all of these things. He was just happy doing what he was doing.
I think that's a perfect definition then. I mean, I'm literally taking notes in the course of this session because you're actually giving us definitions just so relatable. So the examples are so relatable because it's not something that just you probably read off a textbook, your professor's telling you in a lecture. It's all day-to-day stuff we're seeing and we can actually relate to it and understand it.
Thank you, Sneha.
So now that we've seen what passion is and what purpose is, how do we relate the two of them and apply them in our profession or when we are making our career choices?
So let me tell you once again, profession could be something that, at a certain point in time in your life as a student, you decide, you make your choices, right? basis your understanding of your skills at that time. You feel that, I have an engineering mindset, or I have a science, sort of interest in science, or I have a certain ability to be able to maybe articulate, so I become maybe a journalist. I don't know. We make our career choices, and therefore our courses, in some ways, basis what we think we are good at, and we will, at that point in time, we feel we really enjoy doing, right? I know you love public speaking. I know you win awards for speaking. So you might say, hey, you know what? I wish there was a career called public speaking, right? And I wish I could apply for one called public speaking. So the truth is, when we make our career decisions in various ways, it's based on our, at that point in time, understanding of our skills, of what makes us happy. I think let's be also truthful and practical. What will make us earn money? And I think we are just being naive if we talk passion and purpose and we don't talk of, can I make money out of this? Because eventually all of us need to sustain ourselves, right? In a world that's becoming more and more expensive to live in, by the way, right? So you might as well go out there and see how you can do this. So we play with a number of, I think, moving parts and make a decision which we feel is right for us. But I would urge people to say, you know if somebody told me 26 years ago, Jacinta, that you are probably going to be writing a book and making some money out of it, and maybe people are going to pay you for coming and speaking for an hour, or that companies are going to invite you just to give some consulting solution, I would have laughed. I would have probably thought, well, good joke to listen to, but not practical enough. And but look at where it takes you. So to me, profession is one that you are definitely trained for. But beyond that, I think you are a true professional, irrespective of what you choose to do. I define it by two or three behaviors. One is you are pursuing excellence every day. You are not a me too attendance putting person there saying, Acha chalo, main bhi office aa gayi types. You are not that. You are somebody who's saying, well, I'm going to give it my best every day. If you excel in your present, right, let me tell you something, your future unfolds in ways that you would not anticipate. So instead of fixing the future, right, make your present a journey of excellence. I think to me that is profession. Whichever you may choose to become a journalist, and that is all built on my current understanding of what I like, what I think I have a great skill set for. Sometimes we look at our elders and say, hey, that looks like something interesting, right? What my mother's doing or somebody else is doing. And so I'm probably going to do that. And I think these are fair decisions. Don't stress yourself saying, Arey bhai, I have to find this perfect match in life. Just may purpose ho, passion ho, thoda madness ho. I don't think it's going to work like that. Believe in you. I will guarantee you. I'll write and give it to you. Okay. You're going to discover this as you go. But if you truly call yourself a professional, go out there and do a kick ass job every day. Be the person that companies and organizations and individuals want to hire. Not because you have a degree at the end of your name, but because they think you do that degree proud. Now, to me, that is being a professional. Otherwise, there are hundreds and thousands of engineers, hundreds and thousands of teachers, hundreds and thousands of everything, right? Everybody can't be a Neil Armstrong and say, I will be the first person to go and land on the moon. That's my, whatever. We're living in the real world and we need to figure out what we want to do. So when you're making career choices, and some of it could be constrained career choices at this time, I'm saying fair game, go with it. But as opportunities arise in front of you, and by the way, greater opportunities arise in front of that person who makes a phenomenal difference every day by being a phenomenal professional. So 5 years of training, getting into engineering is not becoming a professional. A professional is one who's honing her skill every day, right? Is seeking opportunities to hone that skill every day. To me, that is really being a professional. And that professional will make any professional successful, any profession. You put that person as a teacher, you put that person as an entrepreneur, you put that person as And success defined by their own terms, not defined by somebody else out there, and they will make their choices. So when you are talking profession, think of what choices you're making basis your orientation, your understanding of your own skill, the market attraction for that particular skill. All of these things will go into creating that value prop and saying, okay, this is what I want to pursue. And believe me, it's okay to do that, and it's the right thing to do when you're 21, 22, and you're saying, okay, this is what I want to do. But as you go forward, be open to exploring, be open to looking at new opportunities, and that will come to you even without you trying. You know why? Because you're so good. You are so good. So this is my mantra for being a great professional. Your first job, up to 5 years to 7 years, you should write a resume, dear friends. Okay. After that, the place where you have worked, provided you have worked, right, should automatically tell you, or your manager, team member, somebody should say, hey, I have something here which only you can do. So then it becomes a matter of only selecting you, not saying I will select you versus some 25 other people who are sitting for an interview. Okay. So you should not write a resume after 7 years. If you're still writing one, it means I think there is something that you still need to do to prove your credentials as a professional. After that, people should say, if I do something, I need this person in my team. It's a need, because she's going to add so much value. I need her in my team. After some time, you will be recommended. They'll say, Acha, you have a problem in your organization, just take Sneha. Okay, so you will move from writing resumes to just getting recognized and picked. And to me, that is the journey of a professional. That means you're doing very well every day in what you do, and that gets recognition, dear friends. So you get salary, but somebody who's a thorough professional doing an excellent job gets reward and recognition, which you don't, even plan for. So believe me, it doesn't matter where you start today, but be open as a professional, focus on excellence, be that person who says, well, you know what, no matter what, I'm going to give it off my best every day. If I can't on a certain day, right, make it up on another day. That's fine. We're all not like machines that you can deliver 100 on 100. Even Virat Kohli has bad days, yeah. So it's fine, but you need to know that you're going to put it out there. Yeah.
Makes complete sense.
Yeah, somebody saying being 21, you choose a field but still confused about it. Does it affect your future? No, it doesn't. Believe me, for a few years, you're going to say, so this is what I did, but I don't think I'm truly happy. But I can explore something else, and that you will definitely find. So don't you worry about it. But do whatever you do in a way that it really is creating value and is of the highest order in terms of quality. I think that is super critical, super, super critical. I think that to me is the most important part.
As Jacinta said, I think just being open to opportunities. You're doing something right now, but be open to lots more new things that are coming your way, because one of them would surely be that one thing which takes you to those new heights.
Absolutely, absolutely. Jayesh Panda is saying at 21, I'm worried about financial. Well, you should be worried about financial even if you're 14 nowadays. It's the sign of times, I guess, Jayesh. But I want to show a perspective that sometimes I think we have started running after a certain lifestyle rather than what is important to life. I think that is my only concern with what I see now. Believe me, I think COVID showed us all that we can live with far less. We can do with far less and still be happy, healthy, safe, and with the people whom we really love. So I'm not saying don't look at money, please look at money, but let not greed for a certain lifestyle start driving the choices that you're making. Now that is a recipe for disaster. That's a recipe for definitely being unhappy. And believe me, my friends, I have known enough people who've had all the financial safety in the world, yet don't have a fulfilling career or just a peaceful life, right? And I think, therefore, long time ago, when I was growing up in Bangalore, Maruti car was, you can sight it like once in a way at a traffic signal. And we said, oh, those people must be rich as you waited for your bus to come and take you home, right? And believe me, there was a tremendous joy in doing that. But today, of course, you see a car literally, outside my home, I can count the number that gets parked in all the wrong places where you're not supposed to, but it does. And today you're saying, unless I have a car, I can't be happy. And I can tell you number of people who have cars and are still very unhappy. Okay, so don't measure your financial safety and self-reliance, especially for the girls and women in this audience. I want to let you know the two operating words for me are financial safety and self-reliance. You have to determine that. You can't run away from that. You can't expect somebody else to take care of you. You can't say, acha theek hai, money is not the thing, being a mother and caring and all of that. I'm saying all of that is important, along with being financially self-reliant and financially safe. I'll tell you a story. I had a cousin who got married about 21, 22. We grew up together. So, and she was a math major. She became a teacher. She got married. And, 3 years, when her son was about 3 years old, and they were married for, I think, about 4.5 years, she lost her husband in an accident. Okay. And I'm sharing this, that night when we were sitting down, and imagine having a cousin going through this. It's beyond heartbreaking. It's actually very scary. And she just looked at me and she said, what will I do? I earn so little. How will I take care of my son? And believe me, I was 28 at that time. First thing that hit me was, I never ever want to be in that state where I'm wondering if I can take care of myself and my child, or just my family, right? It could be anybody. I don't want to be there. It's a frightening place. So believe me, the F word called finance is very important, but don't make it about lifestyle. Make it about life. Make it about, do I have food, clothing, shelter, and a safety nest? In fact, I was educated 3 years ago by a very good friend that you have to have a certain amount which you can draw at the drop of a hat for an emergency. And I realized I didn't have that, for all the talks I gave. But I made sure I worked for it for 2 years, and now I have something. It may not be everything, but I know it gives me better sleep in the night to know that there is that sum which will take care of some kind of an emergency that I need to take care of. So instead of looking at money as a means to a lifestyle, look at money as a means to a fulfilling life. Now, they are two completely different ones, my friend. Money to a means to a lifestyle means you are going to fuel this whole consumerist behavior in yourself, right? Latest phone aa gaya, latest tada tada tada, only if I have that phone I'll be very happy, and all of that stuff. Versus somebody saying, okay, I don't need to change my phone immediately, but if this phone breaks down, it cannot function any longer, right, I will go and buy a new phone. And I think, to me, that is really the difference. It's not about the former, it's about the latter. And that, to me, is where you have to peg your idea of what finance really really means.
I completely agree. And I think being resilient, financially independent is something we really harp about at AFH. It's one of our strongest points. It's in our mission statement, and we are aspiring to make every woman out there financially independent. So I can completely agree on that point.
Thank you.
We are getting a few more questions from the audience. We'll probably take them towards the end. Questions for you, and then a little bit of a rapid fire, which I do want to do.
Sure.
So we've explored different aspects of a fulfilling career. So finding your passion and then finding your purpose. But is there something that you follow, like probably a mantra or something that helps you strike a balance or a correlation between, say, your passion and your purpose, and then use that to help and to enable you to have a fulfilling life? And when I'm saying fulfilling life, I don't mean only career-wise, but career-wise as well as personally.
To me, when I use the word fulfillment, I'm also referring to the fact that your personal well-being is extremely important, which means you take care of many things: physical health, mental health, Like I said, financial health, spiritual health, intellectual health. It's so important. Now, are you in a space where you feel that in all of these things, you're doing reasonably okay? It's not like there's a perfect balance in all of these things, but you at least know where the gaps are. You have a plan for maybe meeting some of those things. But right now, your priority is something else. So something else takes a backseat. But this wheel of personal well-being, Sneha, has to be in front of your eyes, like like a little guiding light saying, acha, you're doing well on this but not really on this, and you should be able to say, hey, I need to do something about this. And sometimes, and we all have those days, right, when you feel unhappy or you feel a little down or you feel a little sad. Go back to that wheel and say, what in this is really causing it? What in this is really causing it? Because unless you have the idea of personal well-being, irrespective of being purpose driven, being passionate, being all of those things, but if there's genuinely no sense of well-being, the rest falls apart. Believe me, you own that. Okay, so you have to be sure that you are there, you are doing what you're supposed to be doing, and your ability to care for yourself and be able to take care of yourself is really important. And I think we need to really work towards that. So this is the wheel that spins it, in some ways for me, whether it's your passion, it's your profession, it's your purpose. All of this is balanced by this well-being wheel, as I call it, and that's my personal ikigai. It's my personal ikigai. I believe you have to look at all of these things and see what you can do about it, right? And some of us may not have some of the other needs that others may have, so create your own personal well-being wheel and see how this wheel helps you balance your purpose, your passion, and definitely your profession, because I think that's the only way to go forward. It can't be one versus the other, but one with the other, and hopefully there will be some trade-offs which you will be comfortable with over a period of time.
That makes sense.
Thank you.
So before we close and move to the fun rapid fire,
Sure.
anything that, any last message or probably an experience, something that you'd like to share with the audience, maybe like a last line which you want all these people listening to us today to remember and take home with them?
Remember the F words, have fun. you know, what is it that if you can't laugh at the end of the day, a good, full throated laugh from your stomach, uh, to me, it looks like, not fulfilling enough, right? And the fun and the laughter can come from any number of things. It could be, with your friends, with your family, just with yourself while watching a television, maybe thinking of your manager who's acting completely nutty. It could be anything, but have some fun. I think in all this, I feel the young generation somehow, this is my belief, and I have a 22-year-old son. They just feel very stressed. I don't know why, and I want to tell everyone, chill, chill, have some fun. I think it's okay. In all this pursuit, don't forget to have some fun.
We're
That's
all
the only
going to
thing.
surely need it.
I really think you should just have some fun. It's okay. But
Yes, I agree on the point of having a nice laugh. I mean, honestly, to me, if I can't think back on the day and say, okay, there was one point when I completely just enjoyed myself at that point of the day,
yes,
and
yes.
something doesn't seem right about the day, like something's off.
Absolutely. I absolutely think so. If you can't laugh, at least one small thing in a day, I would believe, well, you got to think
Not a
about it
nice thing.
again. Yeah, unless you're with a dentist and he's poking into your teeth and grinding it and all that, and yeah. I had this very handsome dentist, so it was okay. But otherwise, okay.
Okay, so now getting to the rapid fire round. So
Sure.
I'm gonna shoot 5 questions one after the other, and
Okay.
you will have to tell me the answers as quickly as you can, and only one answer.
Yeah. Yeah. So do I get to duck if I don't know some of these?
No, you'll have
It's
to
okay.
answer everything.
Okay. Okay. All right. I'll do my best, Sneha. I'll do my best.
So, first question: your favorite pastime or hobby when you're not at your day job?
I don't have a day job, by the way. I have day jobs.
Yes.
I consult with a very, very amazing organization called Enquero, and I think they are one of the best that I have worked with. They're a young organization, so that's part of my day job. I work towards setting up my NGO and make it work for young girls who come from very, very financially under-resourced backgrounds. So that's my day job. I write every day, for at least a couple of hours, if it's possible. I read at least one page a day. So there are many things that I'm trying to, not trying to, I think I do because I passionately love doing these things. But if there is something that I would like to do is really just step out into my balcony and look out at my garden. There's something so beautiful about looking at something green, something that's vibrant, and don't tell anybody else, but I talk to my plants. I believe they grow tall. And if any of you know me, I'm under 5 feet, and my problem is I think nobody spoke to me when I was a baby. Okay, so I'm just going and speaking to the plants, hoping they will all grow nice and tall and touch the sky.
That is so sweet. So I think that's probably answer my next question as well. That's one thing that gives you absolute joy, and you can do it at any given point of time. So I think you've answered both these questions in that.
Oh,
You love
yeah,
being
yeah. Just step out and see the greenery around you. Believe me, it's great. It's great fun. Or playing with my dog, Whiskey.
oh,
My dog's name is Whiskey. He never gets drunk, but I'm just happy being around with him.
one book you'd recommend all our viewers should read afterwards matter.
Afterwards, I think there are two, three books that I have always found truly inspirational. One is definitely my experiments with truth. One because it is the Mahatma writing it about his own experiments with life, and what better person to tell us that our life is an experiment? Yeah, we get some things right, we don't get some things right, but you persist in that pursuit. So I love, forever and ever reading that book again and again. The second book is by this author called Mitch Albom, and the book is called Tuesdays with Maury. If you can get your hands onto it, please do read it. It's a small book, so I don't think it's going to be difficult, but it's a fabulous book. I find it so comforting. Of course, for all the women out, there's no better book than Mills and Boone. Yeah, and there was a time when I wanted to buy five of them every month. That was the reason I wanted to work and earn a salary. But I gave up all ideas of romance after I got married. So it's okay. But to just keep it alive, you might as well read that too. So there you go with your book recommendations.
A very diverse set of books, I would say.
Indeed.
The best career advice someone has ever given you.
The best career advice that somebody's ever given me, actually it wasn't so much a career advice as much as somebody said, and this was my first mentor, and I think I still continue to look at him as my mentor, and we've worked together for many years.
Looks like we've lost Jacinta again. Yes, I do see a lot of your questions pouring in and a lot of appreciation as well. Oh, it's nice to see that you've read the book as well, Tuesdays with Maury. That's nice. Sure, Kritika, I'll just put them in. We're just waiting for Jacinta to connect back, and then we will get back to all the audience questions for sure. Yes, here are the names of the books. The webinar is streaming live on YouTube, so please feel free to go and take a look at whichever parts that you loved again and again on a daily basis, I'd say, because it's been a really inspirational session. And yes, I think Jacinta's joining us. I did see a bunch of questions about Aspire for Her and what Aspire for Her does. So I'm hoping that my amazing team has answered all those questions for you. If any of you still have questions with regards to how you can access any of the AFH resources or anything of that sort, please feel free to put them in the chat and I can take those questions for you right now. Yes, we got you back. We can't hear you. Have you connected to audio? Yes.
You can hear me?
Now I can, yes.
All right. Okay. Sorry about that. I have no idea why it's playing truant, but today seems to be the day.
So yes, we were talking about the best career advice someone's ever given you.
Yeah, so he actually told me no matter what you do, never lose your childlike enthusiasm. And I think that's one thing, as a mentoring advice, it sounds completely strange, but I think to me that has been something, I think he recognized something that's core within me, that I have an enthusiasm, that I am very, very, very a child inside my own self, though I pretend to be all adult and 51 once in a way in front of my son and with audience like you. And I think he recognized that and he said, never lose it. So when I say I'm unhappy, right, it's not about being unhappy with anything, but if I have to lose that essence of who I am, right, the person who can laugh, or, all of those things, then I think then it's not the right decision for me. So, or the right place for me in some ways. I hope that answers your question.
Absolutely. Don't lose the child in you. Just
Absolutely. Don't. Nothing's worth that. Let me tell you that.
And your biggest source of inspiration or motivation?
Actually, of course, people always ask this question as to who has inspired and motivated you, etc. Um, I studied in a government aided school. And I still, I go back and work in that same government aided school. I grew up in an age when there was tremendous innocence around the world. And let me tell you, I thought everything was very inspirational. I thought my teachers were very inspirational. In fact, I have this second standard teacher called Miss Julie. She looked like Hema Malini to me. She was so inspiring in the way she wore her saris. I was like, wow, I want to be like Miss Julie one day wearing yellow sari and a yellow strapped watch. Okay. My family, my parents, my siblings, my husband. But I think in this whole process, I have discovered that the one person who's sort of grown from me and now grown beyond me, but is able to sustain me is, I think, my son. everyone, my father, everybody's been a tremendous source of inspiration, and there's no denying it. The reason I choose to speak about my son is he's all of 22. And sometimes I think he's my father. He has, at least with me, he acts very mature. I don't know if that's the way he is with others. He's probably the person I'm most comfortable to speak with completely random stuff. Okay. And not be worried they're going to think this is one unintelligent old woman, which is exactly what he thinks about me, but probably doesn't say it to me. I don't need to pretend with him. And I find it very inspiring. Like, you can be early morning, groggy, speaking something, and he's going to be okay with it. He's always made me realize that as a mother, I owe my happiness to myself. So he would always say, "Do it, mom." Right? I'm writing a third book probably, and I'm ready to run after literary agents. And he's like, "Go for it. I know you can do it. Just go for it." He's not one of those who's saying, "Why are you doing so many things? Why are you getting stressed?" or any of those things. He's just one of those, and he's not a child who's ever made me feel guilty as a human being. I have worked very long hours. I have traveled endlessly, Sneha, when the child was growing up. But yet I know, he was always this person who watched out for me, which I think I find very inspiring about my boy.
He's going to be pleased to hear this, I'm sure.
He's going to say, "Did you say that? Oh, that was so embarrassing."
Okay, so with this, we come to the end of the questions that I had planned for you. But
Sure.
yes, our audience is not going to let you go that easily. There's quite a
Okay.
bit that they sent in. The first question is from Gurleen, and she says, people generally tend to confuse fulfillment with being very comfortable in their own skin, and sometimes results in people not wanting to work harder. So how does one tackle that and feel motivated enough to work hard every day?
I think, like I said, if you're a professional, or you could even be a stay-at-home person, right? But you have certain chores. All of us are doing something. I would love to meet a person who does nothing every day. But I think that's a rarity. You are doing something, and for me, if you're doing that with a need to be good at it, find ways to excel in it, and do it consistently, I think you're okay. I have this woman who sweeps our streets, right? Our Paura Karmika. And the latest contract, they haven't been given those, little vehicles or two-wheeled things in which they would push cart, right? In which they would carry the waste. And she says, "Don't know why the no supervisor is not giving ma." So what has she done? She's got a mat from her house, which is sort of, not in great shape. She's tied it up on all four sides, and she dumps all the fallen leaves, this, that, whatever waste, and she drags it. She's figured her own way to make this work, right? And she could have very well said, "My supervisor has not given me, so I will just sweep and keep it all in one corner. Let some person come pick it up and go." Don't mistake being comfortable in your own skin to being a person who gives excuses not for excelling, okay? Or a person who's become, quote unquote, the word lazy, okay? I think any person who is worth being called a tremendously purposeful human being is one who's saying, "How could I do this better? How could I do this better?" And I think that to me is where the path to fulfillment really starts. That is where the path to fulfillment starts. Because for her, when I meet her in the morning, we both have this full throated laugh. I think the entire neighborhood knows we both are laughing. And you ask her anything, and she'll have this big laugh and smile, and she'll say, "Ma'am, today I have to go sign in that place. That is the new rule." So every new rule is something that makes your life difficult, is what I have realized. Okay. But she has no qualms about it. She's like, "Well, if that's what it means, okay, I'm fine. But my, fundamental job is to make sure the street is clean, and I'm going to do this." And to me, that's a very important place to be.
I hope that answered your question, Gurleen. The next question is, I feel like professional fulfillment supplements the personal or mental satisfaction. So in a world where we're all aware of the fact that building a career is as important as spending time with oneself, what would you suggest to stay focused and motivated while we're mentally worn down?
Well, let's look at it like this. Don't separate your career from your personal and all of that stuff. I think personal is professional, professional is personal today. I can tell you, when you go to office, there was a time when there was no question of anybody from home even calling you unless and until there was an emergency. If you got a call on your landline in your office, it meant something had happened at home. Okay. And today, I can tell you 80% of the messages we get when we are at work is really personal. It's friends and it's family and it's the long lost aunt and and there is no emergency. Let me tell you that right away. The emergency is that I didn't say good morning to you at 6 o'clock, so I'm saying at 8:30. So somewhere I think we've lost track of what it means. So today, if you're working from home, can you believe that my office is my home now? And my conference calls are filled with dog barks and everything else in life, and everybody's made peace with the fact that there is no such hard line between a career and a personal life, because you are a person who's also having a career. One cannot overtake the other, but a complete person is one who is able to accommodate all of this. And there will be days of stress from a personal standpoint, there will be days of stress from a professional standpoint. Well, you'll have to learn to negotiate your way. You'll need to learn to prioritize your time. These are the most important things, right? Because if you had enough time in a day to solve all the problem, we'll all be happy people, but we have only 24 hours, which means I have to figure out what is most important and critical, and do that. And sometimes you'll make your home unhappy, sometimes you'll make your office unhappy, and I'm saying it's okay, provided you knew why you were making those choices and you're ready to make it up on another day, right? That to me is super critical. So don't compartment this whole idea of work life balance and all. I'm saying, gosh, is our life only about work? And then what is life? You ask any woman how is life, she'll say my children are doing well and my husband's doing even better and everything. So life is never about you, it's never about how you are doing. I'm saying, where is the person in this whole work life balance? Life always seems to be about family, right? And work always seems to be about what we do in office. My question to us is, where am I in this whole process? And I think today the time has come, and I think COVID was beautiful to hit a pause button on all of these ideas that we have and to rethink. We are complete people managing many things. We're going to drop the ball on some of these things on some days, and it's fine, believe me. Unhappy husband on a day is okay. An unhappy boss on a day is okay. They can't be unhappy perennially. Then you have a problem. Okay. Sometimes even an unhappy child on a day is okay. I'm saying, I know I would struggle to make my son eat because he was one of those who never liked to eat anything. And one day I took him to my doctor, and I thought I was this failure as a mother because my child was not eating and all of that stuff. And my pediatrician was so smart. He just looked at me, he said, Jacinta, exactly in another 4 or 5 years, when he turns around 12, 13, right, you'll come back and ask me, how can I make my son to stop eating? So enjoy the time you have right now. And like he said, it happened. My son turned 12, and it looked like his entire body was one big stomach. All he was doing was eating. I mean, he would eat and then he will ask, Ma, something to eat. And then he will say, Ma, something to eat. And I really thought, what is going on here? So I think at different phases, different things are going to happen. And it's okay, provided, like I say, you know you're trying to do your best every day. That's all that matters, dear friends.
Everyone's going to write this in their diaries, on their board, on their laptop screen, wherever. Remember this advice from Jacinta. So yeah, since we're going pretty much over time, we will take two last questions.
Sure.
And I'm just going through the list of questions. What motivated you to write your very first book?
So I had, during my 25 years of working, never taken a break other than my maternity break of 6 months. And when I was completing 25 years, I actually wanted to take a break and review what I was doing and all of those things. It hits you when you're 50, by the way. These things happen. So I remember sitting down and I said, what is it that I would have loved to hear from people closest to me? Not just as a person, as a professional, but as a girl, as a woman. And I think it was very important for me the language that we use with girls and women, by women also. I'm not in any way saying this is a problem that is coming to us by men. No, I'm saying even women need to definitely change the language and say, we have to adopt a completely different language. We have to look at ourselves as equals in this world with equal everything, right? Ambition, aspiration, dream, disappointments, happiness, sadness, responsibilities. It's an equal world. I do not understand this idea of an unequal world. I struggle in my head. So I said, if there's one thing that I'd like to sort of contribute to is if we can change the language that we speak with our children. And I'm saying that book is even for men and boys, because look at whether that is applicable to you. Because you can say, oh, boys don't cry. I'm saying, why? Why? Why can't they cry? Women don't laugh loudly. I'm like, what the hell? You've got a problem in life, if you can't laugh. So, I truly believe and what do children listen to is the language that is being spoken even before they speak the language, right? Even when they are babbling, they are listening to you. And believe me, we better be speaking something nice if children are going to be listening to us. Young girls, they should be, we work with young girls. We were teaching them self-defense. This is after that gruesome rape in Hyderabad. And one of the girls, I'm telling her, now come on, kick, as a practice. Okay. And she says, ma'am, but how can I lift leg, ma'am? It is not okay, no, for girls. I said, who the hell said it's not okay? It's okay. Just lift your leg and kick. This is what we have socialized them to believe, that this is not okay for you. You may get pinched and raped, but you can't do anything in self-defense. वो लड़की जैसी नहीं होती है. And I'm saying, seriously, I think it's time we change the language. Of course, very important to follow up the language with action. Even more important to role model. All of these things are equally important. But I think it starts with the language that we use.
And I'm telling you, I've read the book. It's a fantastic book. I will say all 53 of you sitting over here have to go and give that book a read. It's a really, really lovely book. Wow, so there's just so much of appreciation for you coming in. So inspiring. You're amazing. She's like sunshine and rainbow on a gray, rainy day. That is so sweet. This is really very, very sweet. So yes, with this, I know there are a few more questions, but unfortunately, we won't be able to take them because we're running out of time. A few of them want to know how they can connect with you, Jacinta, because they
well, you can always write to me at jacinta.j@gmail.com, and the spelling is J for joy, A for apple, and C for cat, and I for ink, and N for nice, and T for tiger, and H for happy, and A for apple. It's jacinta.j@gmail.com. And you can, of course, connect with me on LinkedIn if you're there. I'm not on Insta. I don't believe I can do more than what I'm doing right now on social media. So LinkedIn is the place where you can find me for sure.
Yes, and I have put the email ID in the chat box as well. So people don't.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for this wonderful session, Jacinta. I'm going to keep remembering all these things for many, many days to come. I've written like a whole page of notes already. I'm going to transfer this to somewhere where I can keep safe.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I'm sure all our audience have also got similar learnings that they're going to take away from this session.
Thank you so much. Be the sunshine, folks. I think that's all that really matters in life. There is enough gray cloud in some person out there. So do your best. That's all that really matters. Just a request to you, Sneha, if you could collect all the feedback and you could send it to me. I'd like to have a look at it and tell my husband, look, what a great job I do in life after all, and tell my son too, that's about it. But to all of you,
have some fun. Never let go of being happy. Uh, I truly believe that you will get there. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And for all the yes, Tithi, go ahead.
Ma'am, that was just a wonderful session. I really enjoyed. Sometimes I get bored with the sessions like this, but I really enjoyed this session.
Thank
Really
you.
enjoyed this session.
Thank you
It
so
was
much.
quite like I learned something new today. I learned something new
Thank,
today. And I would
thank you
like to
so much.
thank Aspire for her for bringing such a wonderful opportunity for me to learn something new.
Thank you so
Thank you
very
so
much.
much,
Guys.
Tithi. And
Thank you
yes,
very much.
just as we come to the end of the session, so you must have seen my team putting in the links in the chat box. So I request all of you who are not members of AFH already to please use the link and sign up with us, because this is not the only session we're doing. We have a lot more sessions with Jacinta and with many more amazing speakers just like her. So if you don't want to miss them, make sure you sign up immediately.
Thank you, Sneha. Wonderful interacting with you. Thank you, Titi. And thank you to everybody. I will leave now and go grab some dinner. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much.
Thank
Tata.
you, ma'am.
Thank you.
And I'm going to be ending the meeting as well. Thank you to everybody who's come, and I request you to sign up as members of AFH. Follow us on our social media platforms so you can make sure that you know about all the new sessions that are coming up. And we'll see you very soon with another event. Thank you, Tithi.
Thank you, Sneha.
Thank you. Bye.